Lunch Money Clip.
How do we, like people that aren't professionals, maneuver in this environment when people like you or doctors are having a back and forth? How do we maneuver with like what's going on? Like
I-
as in people that don't really know the terms or the studies or any of that.
Yeah. So, and that's the part where I hate to say it. You will have, I have doctors I completely disagree with.
Yeah, yeah.
And there's people that disagree with what I say, but I know what I've read and so it's just kind of like in every field. And that is so difficult for the public.
Right.
Honestly, I think the best general advice, go to the CDC's website, read the CDC's website, just go there. They literally will spell out a bunch of things. One thing I would highly recommend if you happen to get COVID, any age, you want to get a pulse ox, the little finger pulse ox monitor.
Mm-hmm.
So I had a patient, what they're noticing is as it attacks your lungs, it ends up being so as a younger person, let's say I have 10% of my lung function damaged. My body is naturally going to like start breathing a little faster. It's like when you're higher altitude.
Oh yeah.
So they give you that medicine to keep you from getting altitude sickness.
Mm-hmm.
You know how it works. All it does is makes you breathe faster.
Really?
Yeah, makes your respiratory rate increase. So you have less oxygen, but you're breathing faster, so your body's compensated, right?
Mm-hmm.
So your body will actually naturally do some of these things. So as COVID's hurting your body, you're not getting any side effects yet. You don't even know something's wrong. You're asymptomatic, as they would say. Then let's say now 20% of your lung function's gone. All of a sudden you're like, man, a little bit of shortness of breath, So you go see your doctor and it doesn't seem like anything's big. And then all of a sudden, at 20% lung function, like, dude, you're going downhill fast, but you just didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
And so that little finger pulse ox, like $15 on Amazon. I can tell you 3 patients who literally said, you have saved our lives because of it. Like they had, so one of them, like I said, I can't tell you, but I can tell you their symptoms and stuff. She had COVID, had a fever, and she had a cough. No shortness of breath, nothing.
Wow.
And her cough got a little worse, the family said. But her pulse ox went from like 98. So your normal, a good range is like 95 and above. And it dropped in like 2 days to like 78. No new symptoms, just a little bit more coughing. And they rushed her to the hospital and they put her on oxygen. She ended up being okay. But they were like, we would have never had an idea.
Yeah.
Because it's just kind of like your body has to be so bad until you have a symptom. But it doesn't know, like that's your kind of early detection. And I had another one where this is actually one of my really close friends. It was his mom. And hers started dropping. Now it wasn't COVID, it was pneumonia.
Wow.
But she lives, I think by herself, but she was actually losing to where she really couldn't tell because she was so oxygen deprived. She like wasn't making sense. And so she couldn't even tell she was going bad. She just told him the number and he was like, oh God, we got to get you back in.
Yeah.
And so that's one thing that.
So there's like what Joaquin's saying, we're like just the normal public here. We don't have the education that a lot of doctors and pharmacists have, but you hear the numbers being put out on television. I don't know how much was it, 120,000 people have died so far.
Oh, it's 200,000
or 200. Yeah. 210,000. Yeah. I know there's a 1 and a 2 and a 0 in there somewhere, but 210. And we hear that number so much now because I think it's an election cycle. And so that number's being pushed and used and bent and just all kind of things. But, me as a father and a dad and a businessman and just trying to live my life and everything, I ask myself the question all the time, is there a big difference that we're seeing in I died with COVID or I died of COVID? Yeah. Because that number just is being used a lot.
I see what you're saying.
Watch the full episode at the link below in the description.